Okay, we'll start. See, in this class, what I'm going to do is I will continue the discussion on case studies of 2025 exam uh, from last class. As you know, in last class, I have discussed two case studies. Uh, Besides, also discussing how to write good answers in ethics. And briefly, I have discussed the 2025 question paper also. In fact, detailed analysis of 2025 question paper I have done in another class, and I'm going to put that video also uh, maybe by tomorrow uh, for the use of all the students. So today, two case studies we have discussed in last class. So next four case studies we'll be discussing today in this class, and we'll try to find out what can be the model answer for that. As you know, this year's case studies were quite complex, quite sensitive, and in my opinion, much more difficult than previous year's case studies. So now let us start with the four case studies, which are next one in the question series. I'll just share the question paper and the further what we can discuss that. Uh, See, the uh, case studies, uh, as you know, in question papers come from seventh question, that is in section B. So seventh and eighth I have discussed in last class. So now today we are going to discuss ninth, 10th, 11th and 12th questions, which were case study questions in this year's exam. So this is a question paper. So Hindi I am skipping. I will read the English one and then we can. Last week also, I told last class that the paragraphs are quite big. So it's quite demanding. You have to read a lot and then try to understand and then start answering. So that, that in a way is a new trend, because earlier one or two questions, one or two case studies were having large paragraphs, but others were little shorter. But this year, almost all the case studies are having 300 or more than 300 words. So you have to read in detail and then try to understand how to answer. So now the question number eighth, sorry, ninth, because sixth, seventh, and eighth I have already discussed. So this is eighth. So the case study reads like, Subhas is Secretary PWD in the state government. He is a senior officer known for his competence, integrity, and dedication to work. He enjoys the trust and confidence of minister in charge of PWD and program implementation. As a part of his job profile, he is responsible for policy formulation, execution of projects relating to infrastructure initiatives in the state. Besides, he oversees the technical and administrative aspects relating to planning, designing, and construction, etc. Uh, Subhash Minister is an important minister in the state, and significant uh, growth in the urban infrastructure development and road network has been registered during his tenure. He is very keen for launching of ambitious road construction project in the near future. Subhash is in regular touch with minister and is working various modalities of road construction projects. Regular meetings, interactions, and presentations are made by him to the minister before a formal public announcement of the project is made by the minister. Subhash's only son Vikas is in real estate business. His son, from his own sources, is aware that a mega road project is on anvil and announcement in this regard is expected anytime. He is very keen to know from his father the exact location of the upcoming project. He knows that there would be quantum jump in the prices of land in the vicinity. Buying land at this stage at cheaper prices would pay him rich dividends. He is pleading with him, that is his father, day in and day out, to share him location of the proposed project. He assured him that he would handle the matter discreetly, as it would not attract any adverse notice as he is in a he in the normal course keeps on buying land as a part of his business. He feels pressurized because of constant pleadings by his son. Another significant aspect of the matter pertains to extra undue interest in the above project by the Minister PWD himself. His nephew was also having big infrastructure project company. In fact, the minister has also introduced his nephew to him and indicated to him to take care of his nephew's business interest in the forthcoming project. The minister encouraged him to act fast in the matter as early announcement and execution of mega road project would enhance his status in the party and public life. In the above backdrop, Subhash is in a fix as to the future course of action. So this is a very, very big paragraph and very real kind of paragraph, because these kind of situations do come not only in the state government, but even in central government, and usually bureaucrats do face this kind of situation. So now the questions are: discuss the ethical issues involved in the case, number one. Second is critically examine the options available to Subhash in above situation. Third is which of the above would be most appropriate and why? And this you have to answer in 250 words. Basically, see, in the three parts, mostly you have to write almost everything, because ethical theories you have to write. You have to write various options. You have to write. You have to basically examine each and every option. What are the pros and cons of each and every option, and then which will be the most appropriate and what is the reason for that. So all those things you have to tell. Uh, this is a very real kind of case study, in my opinion, as I told, because every state, I mean, there are situations like this in central government also. There are situations like this wherever road constructions, ring roads, and all these things takes place. These kind of situations do arise, and these kinds of uh, cases will keep on cropping up. So now let us start with first question: ethical issues involved. Uh, Subhas faces a clear conflict of interest. His son's real estate business intersects with his official role, because son is having real estate business and he's a PWD secretary. So basically, there is a conflict of interest. Sharing project location would amount to insider trading, violating probity, transparency, and Article 21 also. Ministerial pressure to favor his nephew reflects nepotism, contrary to Article 14, and objectivity in governance. So, integrity of public office, as stressed in second ARC, is threatened. The case illustrates tension between ethics of care, that is of Gilligan, and toward family, and deontological duty, that is Kant's deontology, because one has to do his duty without fear and favor. So now you see in this answer, first part, various ethical theories have been named. Then various values which a civil servant should abide by, those have been clearly written. Constitutional provisions have been mentioned, and also documents like second ARC have been mentioned. So this makes, I mean, the whole conflict or the whole dilemma which is before the civil servant very clear. So the first part is what are the ethical issues involved. So now these are the various ethical issues which are involved in this case. Now, what are the options available? First option is yield to his son's request and tell him how this project is coming up, so that he can buy the land at cheaper rate and subsequently sell it at lucrative prices. So this option is utilitarian, because definitely his son is going to benefit, his family is going to benefit. Short-term gain will be there to the family, but this is definitely a corrupt and illegal practice. Second option is because minister is also continuously pressurizing him, favor minister's nephew. So this is a very politically convenient option, because once he favors the minister, minister will favor him, and then mutual favoritism will creep in. But then this breaches Nolan's principles and also Kautilya's Rajdharma. And this also is against deontological duty. Now, what are the third options? Reject both demands. So uphold Gandhian integrity and Aristotle's promises, though invite a lot of pressure. Because definitely there will be pressure from the family, there will be political pressure from the minister and his nephew and others involved also. Fourth is report undue pressure. Report to higher authorities, maybe vigilance, maybe ACB. So escalate to higher authorities. There is a Supreme Court case also. It promotes accountability, but again, it risks retaliation. Because if you are going to report against some political leader or your own son or anybody who is unduly pressurizing you, you are going to uh, be retaliated. Fifth option is counsel your son, guide him against insider trading, fulfilling family duty without breaching ethics. Sixth is recusal, withdraw from the project to avoid perceived bias, consistent with nemo judex in causa sua. Most of you will be knowing this because one should not be judged in its own cause, because this is very, very important principle of natural justice. So one has to recuse, because wherever conflict of interest is there, wherever one's own interests are involved, you can easily recuse. You can say that, yes, I will not decide this case, or for the time being, I will quit this post and some other post may be given to me. And this is one of, recusal in such cases where conflict of interest is there is considered as one of the best global practices. Then disclosure, proactively inform superiors of son's business interest in line with second ARC and Article 51, because fundamental duty is to uphold the integrity. So you disclose it. Yes, my son is doing, because even if you don't disclose, sooner or later people are going to know, press and media, everybody will start writing and you will be in bigger problem. So disclosure is another option. So these are 7 different options available to the Secretary PWD. Now, definitely each option has pros and cons, and each option can be clubbed with one or the other one, so that he will have a complete course of action. Now, next C part of the question was, what is the most appropriate course? Because this is the C part. Which of the above would be most appropriate and why? So for this, now let us go to that. So most appropriate course of action will be option 3 and 5, reinforced by option 7. What is 3 and 5? If you see, reject both the demands, because definitely illegal demands or corrupt demands or these kind of pressures should not be accepted. So first is option 3, you reject it. Option 5, counsel your son. It is not way to do the things. His own job will be in problem. So the most ethical path is option 3 and 5, reinforced by option 7. Option 7 is disclosure. You also disclose, my son is doing such and such business. Still, I'm deciding in a very neutral manner. However, option 6, if pressure escalates. So what is option 6? Option 6 is recusal. So if pressure from family or from political minister or from press and media escalate, then it's better to recuse, that there is a conflict of interest. So therefore, I will not decide this case, or I will not be involved in this case. So this kind of option, that is 3, 5 reinforced by 7, and ultimately option 6 protects constitutional morality, public trust, and probity in governance. So Gandhiji also told, a man of truth must also be a man of care. Such conduct blends Kantian duty, Gandhian truth, and Kautilya's Rajdharma. So basically, this will be the answer of case study 9. Now we'll go to case study 10. Again, Hindi, I'm skipping. You can read it, because this document also I will be putting in WhatsApp and Telegram groups. Who have joined, they can access from there. So again, this is also very big paragraph, you may see. Even though fonts are a little bigger, but it's still not less than 300 words in any way, 300, 350. Yeah, so the case study is like this. Rajesh is a Group A officer with 9 years of service. He is posted as administrative officer in an oil public sector undertaking. As an administrative officer, he is responsible for managing and coordinating various administrative tasks to ensure smooth functioning of office. He also manages office supplies, equipments, etc. Rajesh is now sufficient senior and is expecting his next promotion in JAG, that is junior administrative grade, in the next 1 or 2 years. He knows that promotion is based on examination of ACRs, that is performance and appraisal reports of last few years, of an officer by DPC, that is Departmental Promotion Committee, and an officer lacking requisite grading of ACRs may not be found fit for promotion. This is true. I mean, this happens in promotion in civil services. There is a DPC, there is ACR system, grading system is there. So all these things are very, I mean, this is true kind of case study. Consequences of losing promotion may entail financial and reputational loss and setback for career progression. Though he also puts his best efforts in official discharge of his duty, yet he is unsure of assessment by his superior officer. He is now putting extra efforts so that he gets thumping report at the end of financial year. As administrative officer, Rajesh is regularly interacting with his immediate boss who writes ACR, because immediate bosses usually write or initiate ACRs. There is one reporting authority, then reviewing authority, and then accepting authority. These are three levels for any officer in civil services. The one is reporting officer, then reviewing officer, and accepting authority. So he is regularly in touch with immediate boss, who is also a reporting officer for writing ACRs, as I told. One day he calls Rajesh and wants him to buy computer-related stationery on priority from a particular vendor. Rajesh instructs his office to initiate action for procuring these items. During the day, the dealing assistant brings an estimate of rupees 35 lakhs, covering all stationery items from the same vendor. It is noticed that as per delegated financial powers, as provided in GS4, General Financial Rules, these are very, very important rules as far as civil servants are concerned for financial prudence and for financial control. As applicable in that organization, expenditure for office items exceeding rupees 30 lakhs requires sanction of the next higher authority. And here the proposal is of 35 lakhs. Next higher authority, that is boss in his present case, that is his reporting officer. So he has to basically, as per rule, should put the file to reporting officer to get the sanction for 35 lakhs, because his powers are up to 30 lakhs only. Rajesh knows that immediate superior would expect all these purchases should be done at his level. So this is again a very funny thing, and this happens in bureaucracy. Usually oral instructions or oral advices are given, and then it is expected that whether legal or illegal subordinates will follow. So at his level, and may not appreciate such lack of initiative on his part. During discussions with office, he learns that common practice of splitting of expenditure is again also very convenient method adopted in various offices. That if in this case, let us say, okay, 30 lakh is the limit. So one bill can be made of 25 lakhs, another bill can be made of 10 lakhs, and then 35 lakhs can be broken in two bills, so that it will be under the capacity of, I mean, powers of the concerned officer itself. So he learns that common practice of splitting expenditure, where large order is divided into a series of smaller ones, is followed to avoid obtaining sanction from higher authority. This practice is against the rules and may become to adverse notice of audit, because this is illegal practice basically. Rajesh is perturbed. He is unsure of taking decision in the matter. So this is the case study. Now, what are the questions asked? What are the options available with Rajesh in the above situation? What are the ethical issues involved in this case? Which would be the most appropriate option for Rajesh and why? This has to be answered in 250 words and 20 marks question. Okay. So now let us start with option question part A. What are the options available with Rajesh in this situation? So option available with Rajesh are: first is split the order. into smaller sanctions through a common practice, because as it is written, it is common practice in the office. It violates GFR 2017 and may attract CAG audit objection. That is already written in the case study also. Second option, approve the entire 35 lakhs order at his level. Now, this is ultra virus because this is against the rules and punishable under service rules, and also Prevention of Corruption Act. Third option to him is refer the full proposal to the competent authority, that is his immediate boss, as mandated by GFR. And this is the only legal and ethical course available here. Whatever is the proposal, you put up to your immediate boss to approve it as per the rules, whatever examination he can do, and then accordingly approve. Fourth option, partly sanction within 30 lakhs and forward the rest. Still splitting, hence a violation, because this is splitting is again, this is little less objectionable than first option, but this is also illegal, because here you are very conveniently splitting one order into two, which you should not do. Then fourth is report undue pressure to vigilance cell, ethics cell. This may be ethical, but this may escalate conflict and also invite retaliation, because as you know, he is due for promotion. His immediate boss is very, very critical as far as promotion is concerned, because he's writing a SCR and grading him is going to affect his promotion. So this is again important. Now, B part, what are the ethical issues involved? That was the B question, B part. So first ethical issue is integrity versus career ambition, because it's already mentioned very clearly in the case study, fear of poor ACRs, biasing decisions. Second ethical issue is probity in governance. Splitting orders violates transparency and also Article 40. Then rule of law, expediency versus expediency. Kant's deontology demands adherence to rules regardless of consequences. Then another ethical theory, utilitarian temptation, that is Bentham and pleasing the boss for personal gain versus long-term institutional harm, because there will be some audit problem, there will be some inquiry, and it will be a problem. Next is virtue ethics, Aristotle's Phronesis, lawful prudence. Then Dwivedian bureaucracy, emphasis on impartial, rule-bound conduct, irrespective of what is the consequence or what are the circumstances. Then second ARC and Nolan principles, integrity, accountability, these are ethical values required in a civil servant. Integrity, accountability, objectivity as foundations of public life. And then also constitutional morality. Article 51 AH enjoins integrity and excellence in public duties. So this is already one of the public duties mentioned in the Constitution. Now, what will be the most appropriate option? Because that is the C part of the question. See, only correct option is option 3. What is option 3 in this case? Refer the full proposal to competent authority, because a file has been moved by the section assistant of 35 lakhs, and since 35 lakhs is under the power of his immediate superior, so he should forward it along with his remarks. So most appropriate option is the only correct option is option 3. Refer the full proposal to the competent authority. Though this risks boss displeasure and may affect his ACR, it ensures compliance with GFR 2017, avoids audit, vigilance liability, and upholds Raj Dharma and Gandhian truth and content duty. So, and a short conclusion, short-term displeasure is a small price for safeguarding long-term integrity, credibility, and public trust in governance. So this is the only option, appropriate and legal and ethical option available to him. All other options are having one or the other problem. Now we'll go to case study 11, that is next case study or question number 11, which is fifth case study in this exam paper. This case study, again, very, very big case study. So I will read it, English version. Hindi version you can read yourself and understand. Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Program, Manrega, as it is called in short, was earlier known as the National Rural Employment Scheme, NREGA, is an Indian social welfare program that aimed at fulfilling the right to work provisions made in Constitution. MNREGA was launched in 2006 under rural employment sector by the Ministry of Rural Development. A main objective of the program is to give legal guarantee to wage employment to the adult members of rural households who are willing to do unskilled manual labor work subject to a maximum of 100 days per year for every household. Every rural household has the right to register under the scheme. Job card is issued to the job card is issued to registered job card holder can seek employment. State government shall pay 25% of minimum wage for the first 30 days as compensatory daily unemployment allowance to the families and of the wage for remaining period of the year. Manrega work was undertaken by various gram panchayats. Okay. You have been appointed as an administrator in charge of the district. You have been given the responsibility of monitoring Manrega work undertaken by various gram panchayats. You are also given the authority to give technical sanctions to all Manrega works. In one of the panchayats in your jurisdiction, you notice that your predecessor has mismanaged the program in terms of money not dispersed to actual job seekers, muster rules of the laborers not properly maintained, mismatch between the work done and payments made to fictitious persons, job cards were given without looking into the need per person, mismanagement of funds and to the extent of siphoning of funds, approved works that never existed. So see, all kinds of irregularities are visible here. So you name any irregularity and it's available. So such a corrupt and useless fellow as his predecessor. So now the question is, what is your reaction to the above situation and how do you restore the proper functioning of Manrega program in this regard? So this is first question. Second is, what actions would you initiate to solve the various issues listed above? Third is, how would you deal with the above situation? So basically, if you see, all three are very interrelated kind of questions have been asked, because how would you deal, what actions will you take, and what is your reaction, all have a number of points in common. So but we'll try to see how we can answer best. So now let us start. What is your reaction to the above situation and how do you restore the proper functioning of Manrega in this regard? So first is, as a district administrator, I would view these irregularities as serious violations of Manrega Act. There is no other option for any good officer, which operationalizes the right to work under Article 21, read with Article 41 of the Constitution, affirmed in PUCL versus Union of India 2001. So wherever constitutional provisions or statutory provisions are required, you have to, if you are quoting them, you are going to get better marks. Similarly, wherever Supreme Court cases are involved in such statutory and constitutional cases, there again you should refer the cases also. That is also going to uplift the quality of your answer. Now, such mismanagement violates probity in governance, as mentioned, second ARC, and weakens Panchayati Raj institutions under Articles 243G and 243A. These are articles of Constitution. My immediate reaction would be to halt irregular payments, order inquiry, and reassure genuine beneficiaries of prompt restoration of their rights. So this has to be immediate reaction, that all kinds of irregularities will be stopped, proper inquiry will be done, and no innocent or no correct or genuine beneficiary will suffer. So this kind of assurance and this kind of action has to be definitely taken. Now, what are the actions, B part, what are the actions will be taken to solve the issues? What action the concerned officer, district administrator will take to solve the issues? First is inquiry and accountability. This is first and foremost. Initiate disciplinary action against subordinates. escalate involvement of predecessor or senior officers to vigilance or lokayukta, because there are some junior officers against whom you are competent to take action. So you take it. But there may be some equivalent officers or some other senior officers who against whom you will not be able to take action. So for them, you have to send a report to somebody, maybe state government, maybe vigilance, maybe lokayukta, so that the action, inquiry and action can be initiated against them. Then criminal liability. Register cases under BNS 2023. Criminal breach of trust, forgery, cheating, because all kinds of criminal actions has been listed in the case study, if you see. And also Prevention of Corruption Act. So under both provisions of under both acts, cases have to be registered against the culprits, against the officers or the private individuals also who have not followed the rules and law. Then another important thing is recovery of siphoned funds, because that is also mentioned. A lot of funds have been siphoned. Works have been sanctioned, but no work exists. So trace fictitious beneficiaries, freeze assets, and recover misappropriated amounts under financial rules. There are rules. Revenue Recovery Act is there. Various other financial rules, or if required, court orders can be taken for recovery. So this is again very, very important. Then another action is audit and verification. Conduct statutory social audits through Gram Sabha and independent teams under CAG guidelines. There are already guidelines exist for conduct of social audits. Conduct it in a very, very fair and transparent manner. Then corrective disbursement. Cancel fake job cards. Ensure genuine payments via Aadhaar-based DBT. So this you follow. Then technology. Use of technology is also very important. Biometric attendance, geotagging, MIS monitoring. So all these will ensure that there is a transparency, there is a fairness in the work execution. And these are many good officers, many good districts, many states, they are following this. So it's not that it's anything new. Then capacity building and awareness. Train panchayat staff, sensitize workers to entitlements and grievance channels. So basically, if you see, these are very, very comprehensive actions or listed actions to solve the issues. And not only it has various legal provisions listed, but also various corrective measures, various proactive corrections for future also have been listed properly. Now, C part of the question, dealing with the situation. How will you deal with the situation? The question was, I will again read it, original question. How would you deal with the above situations? In fact, already in A and B it has been described, but then again it has been asked. So let us see how we can write in little different word. I would combine immediate correction, punitive and criminal action with recovery of siphoned funds and systemic reforms to prevent recurrence. So this is a summary of what you can say of part B, guided by Kant's duty of ethics, Gandhi's trusteeship, Ambedkar's social justice, and Rawls' fairness, sense, capability approach, and Kautilya's Rajdharma. So all these thinkers, all these ethical theories or ethical principles are applicable here. My duty is to safeguard public resources and uphold dignity of rural labor. So this is how I will deal with this situation. Now, in conclusion, also you can write short-term discomfort to vested interest is essential to secure long-term transparency, accountability, and justice for the poor. So this completes the fifth case study. Now we'll go to sixth and last case study, which is again very, very important case study. I will read it, the English version. Ashok is divisional commissioner of one of the border districts of Northeast state. A few years back, military has taken over the neighboring country after overthrowing the elected civil government. Civil war situation is prevailing in the country, especially in last 2 years. However, internal situation further deteriorated due to rebel groups taking over control of certain populated areas near own border. Due to intense fight between military and rebel groups, civilian casualties has increased manifold in recent past. In the meantime, in one night, Ashok got information from the local police regarding the border checkpost that there are about 200 to 250 people mainly women and children, trying to cross the border, cross to our side of the border. There are also about 10 soldiers with their weapons in military uniform, part of this group who wants to cross over. So, along with the civilian soldiers are also there. Women and children are also crying and begging for help. A few of them are injured and bleeding profusely, need immediate medical care. Ashok tried to contact Home Secretary. So this is the normal process. In such international situations, the junior officers are not, competent to decide basically. So you have to report to state government. State government may in turn report to central government, and then a policy decision may be taken whether to what to do with them. So Ashok tried to contact Home Secretary of the state, but failed to do so due to poor connectivity because it's a very, very remote district due to inclement weather. Now, the questions are, so this is the case study. Questions are, what are the options available with Ashok to cope up with the situation? Second is, what are the ethical and legal dilemmas being faced by Ashok? Third is, which of the options do you think would be more appropriate for Ashok to adopt and why? And fourth is, in the present situation, what are the extra precautionary measures to be taken by the border guarding police in dealing with soldiers in uniform? So these are four questions out of this case study. Now we'll go to part one. Options available with Ashok. What is the option? First is deny entry at all, because this will uphold the sovereignty of the country, because somebody from outside the border is crossing illegally, because legal crossing always requires valid passport, valid visa. Uh, in absence of this, the crossing of the border is illegal. So it can be straightway denied, entry can be denied, upholding sovereignty. But then it is going to risk civilian deaths, because most of the civilians are injured, they are bleeding also, as has been mentioned in the case study. So this is pros and cons of this option. That legally correct, but then ethically it may be a little problem. Allow unconditional entry. So this is again another option he's having, of civilians and armed soldiers, risking infiltration and diplomatic fallout. Because this is again a very, very serious issue, because both countries next day will discuss with each other why the people from my country or such and such soldiers have been accepted there. So diplomatic fallout may be there. Third is admit civilians for urgent shelter and medical aid while disarming and detaining soldiers separately under border police. This is another option. Fourth is provide temporary humanitarian relief through local institutions, NGOs, while escalating to state and union authorities. So these are various options available to the district collector. Now, what are various ethical and legal dilemmas involved in this case? First is humanitarian versus sovereignty, saving lives versus border protection. This is first important dilemma and very, very critical dilemma. Second is security versus compassion, because security of the country is very, very important. You are allowing soldiers to come in. Women and children need refuge. Armed soldiers pose threats. Then legal angle, though India is not party to 1951 Refuse Convention, Article 21 right to life extends to all. This is the Supreme Court case in NHRC versus State of Arunachal Pradesh, 1996. So legal angle is also involved here. Then constitutional morality, because Keswanand Bharati case upheld dignity. Article 51A also mandates compassion. And then international law, because in such cases, Geneva Conventions laws are also relevant. So mandate humane treatment of such kinds of refugees. Then ethical theories, various ethical theories which are involved here. Utilitarianism is involved versus Kantian duty to law. Then Gandhi's compassion is involved. Ambedkar's justice, sense capability approach, Rawls fairness, and Kautilya's Rajadharma guide balance action. Now, what will be the most appropriate course of action in such dilemma or such case? Option 3 is most balanced. So what is option 3? Let us see that. Option 3 is admit civilians for urgent shelter and medical aid while disarming and detaining soldiers separately under border police. So this is option 3. But this is not, I mean, there has to be some other conditions also. So option 3 is the most balanced. Provide refuge and medical care to civilians while disarming and detaining soldiers. Second point in this very, very important point is Ashok must also seek instructions from competent state and union authorities at the earliest. So this he should do on humanitarian grounds, but then the legality or diplomatic correctness should be there. So therefore, he should seek the instructions from competent state and union authorities at the earliest. Very, very important. And act accordingly. So whatever instructions come from state government or central government, he has to act as per that in such kind of international crisis situations or critical situations. This will be consistent with second ARC on crisis management. Then another important thing he should do is documentation and videography are very, very essential to ensure transparency given risk of infiltration and diplomatic fallout, because then he should have all kinds of proofs. So this is also very, very important. So most appropriate action is option 3, coupled with his seeking instructions at the earliest, along with proper documentation and videography. Then part D will come. What extra precautionary measures? I mean, part D, I will read the question again. In the present situation, what are the extra precautionary measures to be taken by border guarding police in dealing with soldiers in uniform? So this is the part D question. So what are the extra precautionary measures should be taken? First thing, disarming and safe custody of weapons, because they pose a security threat also. Then segregation, guarded medical care, interrogation of soldiers. This is again very, very important from security point of view. Then coordination with army paramilitary for handover, because they should also seek instructions regarding this from central or state government, and they should coordinate with army and paramilitary forces and appropriate handover where they should go. Then strict documentation to prevent rights abuse allegations, because this kind of problem may come. So strict documentation, videography, photography, recording, etc. should be done. So Ashok must act with humanitarian compassion and national security together, reflecting Article 21, Geneva Conventions, and Gandhian trusteeship. So all these are very, very relevant in this case study. So this basically completes the all the 6 case studies, because 2 I have already discussed last class, 4 I have discussed today. As I told, detailed analysis of ethics paper, I have already taken another class. So I'm going to put the video of that class tomorrow. From next class, what I will do in next class, the theoretical questions I will take up 2025 exam paper, that is section A. So that also we'll try to discuss, and we'll try to arrive at the model answers pertaining to those theoretical questions. They were also, in my opinion, quite indirect questions, and also those questions were little more broad, critical, evaluative, in my opinion, than previous year. So that we will discuss in next class. So those theoretical questions. So thank you for watching this video. I hope that this will help you a lot in preparation of at least next year's exam. Thank you.